Hey everybody, welcome to Pep Talks, and we're live, except if you're listening to this the next day, but we are live on Facebook again, and it's good to be live on Facebook. I remember, and I'm here with Steve Lally, my co-host and partner in crime. How are you, Steven?
I'll take it.
How are you, buddy? You okay?
I'm here, man.
We're a little down. I've started new antidepressants. Zoloft. I'm on Zoloft. And by the way, what I wanted to say was that when I've been on Facebook and it always pops up that somebody's live, you do want to see it somehow. You're like, oh, what the fuck is this person doing live?
And why? Why are they choosing to do this live? It's kind of like what.
But it's always kind of interesting to see stuff in real time for some reason. Like, I mean, that's the fascination with today's technology, I think, is that, and it's too much like people watching people just live instead of, living their own life. You know what I mean? But there's also something interesting in seeing it in real time, I think.
Are people that desperate for entertainment that they want to watch?
Maybe that's it. That they're desperate to be entertained. So thank you for tuning in, and I feel your desperation. I'm desperate myself. Steve is certainly a desperate person. I drove him up here. I pick him up in front of the post office in North Hollywood. So, I mean, that tells you everything, doesn't it?
I'm here to make Eddie feel less desperate. That's my whole function.
You're not doing a good job, buddy.
I'm fucking up. My life's going too good for...
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not the sense I get. I was just thinking a depressed podcast. Like, what's funny to me is how podcasts, and life in general, everybody puts on this happy fucking face. Everybody puts on a happy fucking face in life. And I know you don't want to go around going, I feel terrible. But to me, it's hilarious that most podcasts, 99 out of 100 are all like, and we're going to talk about this today, and it's going to be great, and the passion for sports or whatever it is, they're all like, I'm telling you, the Cavaliers and Golden State and Steph Curry, and it's just hilarious. The level of, like, I want to say happiness or like passion people get into on that type of shit when life is so murderously stifling in so many ways. You know what I mean? And that's never dealt with, is how stiflingly murderous life can be. And that would be a good name for a podcast. Welcome to the Stiflingly Murderous Podcast. Welcome to Stifling Murderous Life Force. And I'm your host, Ed Pepitone, and my God, it is so hard to be yourself, to like really, have enough energy to really feel good about life. What do you think about that, Steve?
I think, Eddie, we need a pep talk. We need a podcast with somebody lovable to tell us how bad things are, because that's kind of what you are. You're somebody who's so lovable that you can tell because most people don't want to hear bad news from anybody. We don't want to hear bad shit happened. You know how many people died in the past week that I know? I mean, people I grew up with died. 2-3 people died.
Wow, you're
in the
bumming
past
me
week,
out,
man.
dude.
Yeah, see, I'm not lovable.
You're bumming me out, man.
I can't deliver that.
Hey, man, I just want to ride a wave, man. What do you mean people in your life are dying, man? I'm like doing that's the California surfer, right?
Yeah.
Who was like, hey, man.
Spicoli.
Hey, man, don't tell me about death.
Dude, you're dressed like this 1970s California surfer.
Am I really?
Today, yeah. You got the...
With the hat?
Yeah,
and
with the
stuff?
shirt, man. You look like that guy hanging out in Malibu with a surfboard and looking for a toke.
You know what I need? I partly need to get down to the ocean a little bit. I have not been down there in a while. Have you?
I do every now and again.
I don't mean to, by the way, brush over the fact that people in your life died. That's fucked up. What happened?
It is fucked up. But I mean,
out of the blue, are they older?
Guy who was a year older than me just died. That I played baseball with growing up.
What happened?
I have no fucking idea. He just passed
No
away
way.
2 days ago. I don't know. He's across the country. They're across the country.
A lot of people dying across the country.
Yeah.
A lot of people die across the country.
East Coast. Yeah, every day.
I like how, by the way, I like how you don't get my jokes a lot.
Yeah.
Like like you said, they're across the, the guys across the country. And I go, oh, a lot of people die across the country. An obvious joke about, and you just look at me like,
because it's too corny for me to even
okay.
pick up on.
You got it.
I'm too hip for your corny fucking jokes. Although I want to, I've seen Eddie in and out of his element. He's been in his element and out of his element.
They don't know what you're talking about.
They don't know. They don't.
No, I have a Honda Element, so I've been in and out.
He's been out of it lately.
But
yeah.
So
no, but people are dying. People are fucking dying.
I know they are.
People are fucking dying.
I know they are.
And
everybody.
They're young people. Young people are, people under 50 are dying, dropping dead left and right. I mean, it's the way I'm saying it is funny, but. It's really
no,
not.
You're not. It's
this
not
guy
funny.
You're laughing though. The guy
because it's so dour.
It's so dour. What are you gonna do? You have to laugh. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Well, now you're talking about one of the huge things in life, and I'm glad it's on Facebook Live, is death. I mean, it is so scary because I was thinking about it today. I always think about just like realize, because life is about living. You want to live to the fullest. You want to get the most out of life. And if you're constantly in fear, it's kind of a sort of death. Like fear is a sort of death. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by that? Like because I live in fear, like I just have a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in me. And I feel like that is, it's not life affirming. And you have to find, and last week we talked about spirituality. And this week on our ride over here, I was saying that, things haven't been going my way lately, and things are definitely not going Steve's way. But things haven't been going my way, at least in my head. I mean, I'm going to film Dana Gould's show.
There's people digging ditches in fucking in Georgia somewhere on a chain gang. Black teenagers who had no defense in the courtroom, who are going to be in prison for life. And you're going to film Dana Gould's
show, Stand Against Evil.
So it's all
next
relative.
week.
It's all fucking.
I'm a regular at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, you're going to
get the biggest comedy place in the world yet. I feel like what's eluded me.
You're gonna get fucking.
What's eluded me is more fame and more money, and I don't have a lot of money, and I feel and I was saying that when things don't go your way, you really have to be spiritual.
Okay, here's my fucking problem with you not being happy. Here's my fucking problem with you. Okay, is that you are the best guy. Actually, you are the best comedian. Maybe there's 2 or 3 comedians who are as good as you.
You really think I'm that good?
And that's why you have me around, to remind you of this shit. And you have to wait behind a litany of subterfuge of bullshit comics who are, what did you say? The middle of pizza is filled with cheese, or however you put it. And so you have to wait behind comics who aren't as good as you, and that's your main fucking. That would be my problem if I were you.
What I guess the problem is, if you want to talk about comedy or art, to use that word, it's all about making money, right? Like I'm thinking of the Hollywood agents and the way things are run, and the way
it's a stock market of intellectual property. This city is just trading what stock they think is up, what stock they think is down. They're getting rid of. There's no art being created in L.A. This isn't where people go to create art. They just trade. They don't know what's good. If they knew what's good, they wouldn't be carting out solo movies.
Solo movies?
Yeah, Han Solo. If they knew what people wanted, they wouldn't be rolling out Han Solo fucking movies.
It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of originality, creativity. But I remember one of my friends saying, well, why don't you make your own fucking movie then, instead of bitching about it?
Because it takes millions of dollars to make your own movie.
Oh, you wrote a screenplay that I still haven't fucking read.
See, fucker.
Steve gives me a screenplay about a. Well, I shouldn't say what it's about, right?
Don't tell him what it's about.
But I haven't read it.
But we give a shout out to Mike Battaglia, who wrote the script. He was on Breaking Bad. He's my buddy, longtime comedy buddy.
I was never on Breaking Bad.
You were never on Breaking Bad.
I would love to have been on Breaking Bad.
But you have a bit more thriving career than him.
Yeah. Well,
So
we have some ads. Matt, our producer, has been on vacation. I think he's coming back today, but he's been on vacation. He sent these in, Matt Rasamoto. And this first commercial, it's a new sponsor. And this one is from Zippy Ice. Convenience has never been so delicious. Zippy Ice delivers the ice you need when and where you want it. That means less prep time for drinks, less melted ice, wastewater, and more control over your schedule. Zippy Ice's ice scientists have patented a streamlined ice creation method that simplifies the ice-making process and brings the savings to you. Zippy Ice not only delivers fresh ice each week, but their ice chefs are the best when it comes to creating delicious ice that is not only affordable, but has that 5-star hotel look and taste. Visit the website to see their full selection of gourmet ice flavors and be transported around the world of deliciousness. Order now and receive free 3-ounce sampler Order now and receive a free 3-ounce sampler pack from Zippy Ice's Ice of Eastern Europe. Okay, I got to read that fucking again. Order now and receive a free 3-ounce sampler pack from Zippy's Ice's Ice of Eastern Europe collection. An exotic blend of third world flavors guaranteed to thrill even the most unscrupulous palate. Before you fill that next drink, place your order from Zippy Ice and taste the world. That's it. That's the commercial.
You know what? That was a much worse when we read it in the other room.
You're right.
You did a good job with that, Eddie.
I did do a good job with him. And I guess, Matt, Zippy Ice, they have ice now. And first of all, the name Zippy Ice, it means the ice, bang. I had a party the other night. I was celebrating my dosage of Zoloft being increased from 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams. It was a dosage increase party. I don't know if any of you have ever...
fewer of your personalities showed up for your... I was like,
hello, I'm Zoloft on 50 milligrams. I'm Zoloft on 100. But Zippy Ice got there, and I ordered, and it was getting close to the time that everybody was supposed to arrive. There were people on Lexapro, there were people on Cymbalta, there were people on Wellbutrin. And Zippy Ice got the ice there so quickly, and and I'll tell you, their delivery guys, they have little icicles in their eyebrows because they're freezing.
Right.
These people are freezing. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the Zippy Ice people really believe in ice.
Right.
And ice is deporting people, and Zippy Ice has had to, they've been targeted by a lot of immigrant groups
who don't know the difference between their company and.
Yeah, Zippy Ice has been, they've had their place, looted and ransacked because people are thinking that this is the immigration. What does that I stand for?
ICE. I don't know what it stands for. Wow, that's pretty bad.
Immigration Customs Enforcement. And, people have been looting and ransacking their offices because they think they're the fuckheads who are deporting people under that fuckhead Trump. But no, they're an ice company, folks, Zippy's Ice. So don't, and they've been, a lot of their guys have been beaten to within inches of their lives, and they're still getting the ice out quickly.
Right.
No, but they're still meeting their deadlines at Zippy Ice.
Amazing.
So please support Zippy Ice.
Wow, I can't believe you on the ball came up with that whole fucking whole Lord of the Rings narrative of the Zippy Ice.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So anyway,
So back to the suffering career that you have. This struggle.
No, I mean, it's just hard. Our biggest enemy, folks, I think and this is what this podcast is about. Our biggest enemy is ourselves. That's our biggest enemy. Yes, there are definite enemies in the world. Monsanto,
Bilderberg,
Republicans and Democrats, particularly Republicans, but definitely the Democrats as well. Who did you mention?
The Bilderberg Group.
What are they?
They're
Talk
like
about
one
them
of
for a
these
second.
groups that get together and plot how they're going to carve up the poor. And
Well, we've had a corporate takeover of the world. However, even within that, I think our biggest enemy is ourself, and we have to find a way to, and we have to deal. By the way, I don't want to be totally one of these self-help guys because, all that stuff we just mentioned, the corporate takeover of the world, basically. And I was reading an article, and not to brag that I read articles, folks,
we know. We heard the Chris Hedges the other week, dude. We heard the whole Chris Hedges article. You read it off
Was
like
that too
the
much?
fucking Declaration of.
No.
That was too much.
It was.
I was depressed for like days after you read that.
Why?
Because I don't like if someone's reading something aloud to me, I like it to either be pornography or
Frank slowly went inside Matilda. He went. And Steve is just going, yeah, thank you. I could just see you on, like, when you're on your deathbed, which, year and a half tops, and, like, I'm just over you because I think I will outlive you for some reason, and I'm just over you reading, Frank slowly went into Matilda. He penetrated her for the last time.
The voice of Mr. Burns. You're gonna read this. Let me finish what I'm saying. If I have something read aloud to me, I like it to either be pornography or Dickens. I want Dickens. Remember?
It was the best of times, and I'm just in like a top hat, your hospital bed. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But little Tuffery, little Tufnell would run into the store looking for gifts, and then he was thrown in the fucking workhouse. You want Dickens? I'll show you Dickens. Just come to my place.
Remember
Charles
that?
Dickens. By the way, I get bummed out these days thinking that I'm never going to get to certain authors, and he might be one of them. I mean, he's a great author.
You never read Dickens in school?
I did in school, but I would like to read it now when I'm conscious. I don't know about you, but when I was in school,
You
I
didn't
was
give a
not
fuck.
there.
No,
I
I know.
was not there mentally. I was dealing with a family. My mother and father were so batshit crazy that I was batshit crazy.
But most kids aren't present for school, whether their families are crazy or not. Nobody likes fucking school.
Maybe, yeah, and that too. I always have a tendency to blame my parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Mom, Dad, still alive.
I'm sure he appreciates that. Do you think he listens to our podcast?
No,
No.
definitely not.
Hey, why don't you tell everybody about how he had the salami and everything when you came home? He knows you're a vegan, but he had rolled out all the meats. He
Well,
goes,
whenever I tell my dad I'm vegan,
and I got all the.
I'm vegan, and last time I visited him, I think he was like, "Oh, but I got cold cuts," and I go, "Yeah, but I'm vegan, Dad." And he goes, "Does that mean you can't have turkey?" And I was like, "Yes, I can't have turkey. I'm vegan, no animal products." Well, I wish you would have told me that before I bought the cold cuts. I've been telling him for years, but he's not listening.
It was much more.
People don't listen, by the way, in general. You know what I mean? Like, you ever talk to somebody and some people listen, but so many people are just in their head about their own thing.
What were you just saying? What were you just saying?
Are you talking? See, Steve tries to one up me.
I just feel like a joke should go somewhere. Anyway, if you're going to read something aloud, Chris Hedges, that was hard. That was rough.
But here's what I care about, and this is all I care about. First of all, I like to wake people up. I like to wake them up. I like to poke them, especially when it comes to politics, and especially in this country, because so many people are asleep.
But you don't
at
have
the
to read
wheel,
here,
and they're
check
still
this
asleep.
Out, though. That is a fucking
They're
pile,
brainwashed.
That is a pile driver, Chris Hedges. That's a fucking rape. That is a truth rape, Chris Hedges. It's so dense with it. You don't have to read the whole thing. This is my only criticism of Chris Hedges. It's too smart. It's not going to reach the people who need to hear it. The people who need to hear what Chris Hedges is saying, he's almost a little too sophisticated for. My only criticism, that's my only minor criticism of him, is the people who are in the fucking middle of the country who
I don't
are
think
getting
you dumb
fucked.
it down. I don't think you dumb anything down.
But no,
You know?
not dumb it down, but
Well, you're kind of saying that
Make
he's
it-
too smart. What does that mean?
too smart for his own good. Maybe it'll make it a little more accessible.
He's an educated guy.
He's a brilliant guy.
You know.
Maybe dumb it down. I hate to say it like that because I hate to say it like that. But maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Martin Luther King, listening to his speeches, they were brilliant. They were brilliant, Martin Luther King speeches. They were not dumbed down. He didn't dumb it down. He was extremely well read.
Just talking about 1963, 64. It was a different time. People were.
But they were more literate.
Yeah, they're more literate.
Boy, that's a scary thing, by the way, is we live, and Hedges says this, of course, we live in a post-literate society. We are in post-literacy. People are not literate, and they don't even think that way anymore because of the internet, because of, visual. Everything is visual now. People just throw on Netflix and they throw on movies. They're watching.
I'm going to tell you what
They're
I think.
not
It's because
reading, and they're not. If they are reading, they're not. And the reason why you said this about Hedges is because they're not reading stuff that actually takes, time to read. Everybody's now wired to be, everything has to be
Instant.
done quick, quick. And that's
also-
that's a horrible thing.
But also, the culture for decades has not made it seem valuable. Has not made it seem valuable, of any value, to be able to be educated in any way.
That's right.
So-
Because and that's part of the corporate takeover. Like they want the vast majority of the population they want to just plug them in to their little specialty jobs, whatever they are, even if it's a tech job. You just are specialist in tech. It used to be where people would be educated in the humanities, and that would be a great degree. Now people go to college, I'm going to study finance.
I'm going to get ahead of Jack.
I'm going to be a what?
I'm going to get ahead of Jack.
Jack, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to get ahead of Joe. I'm going to get ahead of Mary.
Frank.
I'm going to get ahead of Frank.
Nancy.
Or Tyler.
Bobby.
Now. More like Tyler and Chad. Now, Frank and Joe were back in the old days. But yeah, it's...
Yeah. It's fucked up. It's fucked up that, education, literacy, but more humanities, more like a broad education, more like nobody's reading, philosophy. Oh, what a waste of time philosophy is.
Well, that's
you know what I
it.
mean?
It's not valuable.
Nobody's reading literature like Dickens,
But it's not valuable.
Even in the good schools, the quote-unquote good schools, the fucking good schools are totally in corporations' pockets, they're churning out fucking robots, and it's scary.
Man, it's really fucking scary.
It's scary that we live in a post-literate society. What do you think of that?
Most people have an 8th grade education. That's the average American
Is it?
education, an 8th grade education.
Is that the average American education?
I mean, I read that. So maybe
And
it's
you don't
true.
read too well.
Let's put it this
It could've-
way. I'm
it could've
post-literate.
said-
I'm post-literate.
It
I'm
could have
from
said
the-
something else. It could have been an article
I'm from
about
the previous generation.
Could have been
so-
an article about the benefits of chocolate. But yeah,
Look, if it's
we
9th grade,
are
if
in,
it's 7th grade or 9th grade, 8th grade is a good.
and why it's scary is because people need to be taught through great art and through great literature and the humanities, great philosophy. They need to be taught empathy. They need to be able to think. They need to be taught to be able to reason. They need to have a sense of magic in their lives. I think here's the big thing. I'm glad I hit on the word magic. I think our sense of magic, maybe it's just me, but I feel like our sense of magic is being beaten out of us by the military-industrial prison complex. What do you think of that?
More like imagination. I think the imagination is being like
Well,
is being like surgically removed.
well, magic imagination, yeah.
I mean, imagination would be the thing that allows you to deal with yourself.
But maybe that's possibility. You know what I mean? It's like possibilities. Because I think I feel the most depressed when I feel like my possibilities are limited. You know, because there's
Dude,
such.
think of the fucking mind that God gave you, that you can go on and fuck. First of all, we went to the Comedy Store on Wednesday, and on the way there, Eddie said, "Look at the fucking 101. Look at that. I go, Eddie, you should open with that." He fucking opened with, now, just so you who are not in comedy don't understand this.
The 101 is a highway, by the way.
Don't go on stage and open at the Comedy Store. At the fucking the main room of the Comedy Store, comics don't go on and open with the thing they were fucking talking about on the car ride to the show, and then close with the thing they were talking about on the car ride away home, and probably don't remember they even said it, because the mind that God gave you that you can do that. That most of these comics are going on reciting routines.
Right.
That there's nothing to be depressed about, dude. You gotta like
Well, I mean. Yeah, I don't know why depression. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. It's fear. It's pent up. It's
What's your main fear? Do you have a main fear?
I think wind up being homeless. Death. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, like the big ones. You know what I mean?
You have a real fear,
life being cut short,
that you're gonna be destitute, and there's gonna be no one. Really?
Yeah, I do. Doesn't a lot of people?
I think so. I mean,
especially these days. You know, maybe I read too much Chris Hedges.
Maybe because you seem to be doing pretty good. I mean, they're gonna give you several grand to go do comedy for a day in Austin. I mean, most people don't. Amazon employees have to take out food stamps because they can't fucking afford to work for Amazon and live. I mean, people can't afford rents.
No, I know.
And shit.
There's a great book, by the way, that I started called Nomad Land, about the middle class in this country. A lot of them now are nomads, going from place to place for jobs like what you were talking about, and living in RVs and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people like that. And it's fucked up.
Do you ever go down Venice Boulevard?
No, I haven't been to the beach in a while.
It's all RVs. If you go down Venice Boulevard,
people living in their RVs.
From like Sepulveda to the beach on Venice. It's all RVs, all the way under the freeway, all the way to fucking the beach.
Wow.
It looks like a zombie apocalypse or some shit. And
that's what's going on.
Tents are everywhere too.
Tents too, yeah. And they're in Hollywood. Wow.
But people don't want to admit it's depression. They don't want to admit, like, at least in the Great Depression.
But what's wild is that there's so much money in this country. So much.
What the fuck is that?
Well, it's concentrated in a few hands.
But there's people who come here from other places. It's not like, the people in Hollywood and Beverly Hills.
It's globalization. It's corporate rape and plunder around the fucking world. Like I said, I was reading an article about the Amazon, and they're fucking that's the lungs of the fucking earth, and they're just oil companies. Oil companies are in the Amazon, just fucking destroying native people's lands. And I think it's a good time for an ad, and let's have you read this one.
Eddie, you always find a good time for an ad right after.
And by the way, folks, even though the direness of this, we have to get together. We have to form communities to fight this corporate stuff, and it's all about very local community, like very locally talking to people, and very locally fighting these big corporations. Like wherever you are, it has to be, like co-op food co-ops, co-op banks, just all kinds of things where people helping people on a local level. That's what's got to happen. That's the only way we're going to be able to withstand this just unbelievable onslaught. Even the people who are quote unquote doing well, they're living in a world where it's harder to breathe and there's less pure water. One of the big things, BBC, mainly kind of a mainstream publication too, but they've been talking about all the plastics in rivers and oceans all around the world. I mean, we are a finite species, and corporations don't care. They turn everything into a commodity, and they extract what they can out of rivers and oceans and the land with complete disregard to life, and that has to be fought locally. Go ahead, read the ad.
Oh, man, that was so moving. So on that note, I'm going to share with you our next sponsor. And this is a new one. It's Pinchy's Tattoo School. Serving the tri-state area with the Midwest, serving the tri-state area with the widest section of regrettable tattoos, Pinchy's Tattoos have become a symbol of affordability. That's right. Now, Pinchy's Tattoos offers a 4-day online course to learn premier tattoo styling such as the anchor, the sparrow, something that started as a sparrow and ended up as an anchor, prison teardrop, horrifying clown face. Pinchy's Tattoo School graduates have gone on to successful careers as inmates. Just listen to our success stories. Jake, the Knife Smith, says, after Pinchy's online course, I had no idea how deep was too deep and really didn't know my own strength. Also, I should have never tattooed that baby. Mel Jabber Jones says, the classes were great. I'm just a sociopath. The heads of the cops found in my freezer were merely for practice. Join one of the hottest art movements in the country today and become a tattoo artist at Pinchy's Online Tattoo School, located between Sepulveda and the beach on Venice Boulevard.
Ah, Pinchy's Tattoos. And that's great because I have a tattoo. I have tattoos on my ass cheeks. On my left ass cheek, I have a tattoo of my first cat, Lewis. And on my right ass cheek is a tattoo of Lewis's sister, Katie. My first two cats. I have Louie and Katie on my ass cheeks. And Pinchy's were the people who got it done. And I went in there and I pulled down my pants and I showed him my ass cheeks and I said, "What can you do with this?"
And by the way, they bailed you out when you were taken to jail. Pinchy's bailed you out.
That's right.
They'll bail you out once.
Yes, they bailed me out once. I went off my Zoloft, and I kind of went crazy near the Pinchy Tattoo Parlor, and I went nuts, and I started, saying that too few people in this world have way too much power. I started going crazy, like saying we need to put life before corporate profit. We need to stop wars and the killing machine. And I was just off the rails,
I heard something different. I heard you ran through the valley in your underwear.
All right. I did that.
Screamer.
So what? What good celebrity hasn't done that? Martin Lawrence went nuts at a traffic light.
Did he?
Oh, you don't remember that story?
No,
Martin
no.
Lawrence lost his shit.
No, I didn't hear
Margot Kidder hid behind a bush, behind somebody's house. A lot of Hollywood celebrities.
Oh, yeah, Downey falling asleep in that teenage girl's bed.
Well, Robert Downey was a big addict.
Yeah,
he's done very well for
they
himself.
used to have a comedy show right next to the Baldwin Motel where he was busted. And they used to have every night they had a
Baldwin
comedy.
Hotel. Where's that?
It was in Culver City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they had there was a guy named Beano.
Beano.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you take to help you with your gas.
Yeah. And he had
I remember Beano. I remember that
name. You knew
name.
who he was?
I remember that name.
He had a very underground comedy show.
Of course I know the underground shows.
Yeah.
That's my specialty.
Yeah. This was maybe even a little more underground. You might have been a little higher level than this.
Oh,
this
really?
was where you went if you couldn't get on anywhere else. And you could go any night of the week and sign up, and the comedy went, till like 2 a.m. He had hookers and midgets, and he had all kinds of. It was a great scene. Free popcorn too, Anyway, it's gone now. They tore it down, but it was right next to the Baldwin Motel where Downey got busted. Which is also no longer there. So.
Yeah. Boy, he was off the rails for a long time. He was lucky to live, and now he's this great sober dude.
Yeah.
Great actor. All right, we also have a couple of phone calls. And remember, folks, if you want to call in and leave us a comment or question or, just express your love for the show or, suggestion, the number's 424 424-262-0904. So if you want to call in, that number again is 424-262-0904. And let's play the first one. This one, here we go. Up.
Well, it's there.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Eddie, what's up, man? This is the dude that did that drawing for you. The one with the hat. This is Frank. Yeah, the one with the hat says, "Honey, I fucked your sister." Oh no, I fucked your sister, honey. Anyway, dude, where the fuck is your special ad on Netflix? Dude, I got accustomed to seeing the fucking thing, and it's not on there anymore. So, where can I get that shit? Bye.
That's Frank, and Frank did. I used to do this bit where I say, you know, when you throw a hat, you always have to say something great, like "Baby, I got a raise," and I would throw the hat in the audience, and I said, you never say something bad when you throw a hat, like "I fucked your sister" when you throw a hat. So and he drew a picture of it. But where's my special? Here's where, you know, my special was on Netflix for 4 years, and they take it down after 4 years, or at least they took mine down. But I was told they take it down after 4 years, and it's on Amazon now, so you could check it out on Amazon.
And that's In Ruins, right?
That's In Ruins, my Netflix special, and I'm still waiting to film another one, and we'll see when the fuck that happens. Okay, here's another question. Here's another comment.
Hey Eddie, it's Roger. How's it going? I hope everything's going good. Are you planning on releasing your one-man show on Netflix or on digital medium at some time in the future, like downloadable? Thanks.
Thank you, Roger. Yeah, my one-man show, In the End of Days, about the apocalypse in L.A. I am at a crossroads with it. I'm waiting to hear from the Montreal Comedy Festival, and if I get in there, we'll see if I'm going to do it. But I'm figuring out what to do with that show. You ever been at a crossroads with a show or a book or a project? Like, I like it, but I feel like it may need some work. So I'm a little right now trying to figure out what to do with it. What do you do with something like that?
I think your instinct's right. If you think it needs more work.
Well, you saw it. You
Yeah,
saw it. What do you
yeah.
think?
I thought it was good. I thought the
Not great, though.
It was the first part where you were the usher was great.
Right.
Okay, that was great, and the rest of it was good. But it needed.
What does it need? That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know. It's only for you to know. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd have to
right.
watch it a couple times.
Right.
To tell you what it needs, but it's good.
Right.
It's good. I think it needs to end really big. Like it needs to end.
Yeah. Anyway,
as well.
I'm figuring out the show. So
You're
thank
really-
you, Roger.
You're asking me like you're really.
No, I am. I'm just at a crossroad, and now we have one more call, and here it is.
Hey, Eddie, this is Matt calling from Albuquerque. Just a quick question for you. Why are the New York Rangers such a bunch of faggots? That's it. Thanks.
What the hell was that? You know, I'm such a big hockey fan, and I love hockey, and anybody who follows hockey. I never talk sports on this podcast, even though me and Steve are big sports fans, right? You love the Cubs?
Love them. Any
You
Chicago Cubs, Bears, Bulls.
Oh, okay.
Blackhawks.
And Blackhawks too?
Blackhawks,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
But so many podcasts talk about sports, and I feel like, I really do feel like it's true that, on the whole, it's true that you lose half your audience when you talk about sports.
But that's a guy from.
And I'm not a sports podcast,
Al-
but
really,
you know,
lose half
this
your
guy,
audience when you talk about sports? We should
I would
talk
think.
about that. What the fuck is that?
What do you think? You don't think so?
What, the art fags can't hear sports? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I love that there's other creative
Yeah.
people I can talk sports with.
Right, me too.
When I was in college and I met all the theater people, none of them gave a fuck about sports. So I didn't.
Yeah.
It was a weird kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I like other creative people who can talk about sports. When I go home, that's
Yeah.
the whole bond with my family. We wouldn't
Yes,
even have
I
a family
know.
bond if we didn't have sports. How do
I
you think
know.
men express emotion in Chicago?
I
They talk
know.
about the fucking Bears.
But I think that's fucked up.
It's fucked up, but
I think that sports, and I'm a big sports fan, so I say this guilty as charged, but I think sports are such a fucking way to avoid your, like, deep issues. Because, first of all, you know, it just does bond people. I mean, I guess there's good elements too, but I do get pissed off. Here's what I get pissed off about sports, and even though I love it, and like I'm so into the Yankees right now, and I'm very excited. This is wild that I'm very excited for the Washington Capitals winning the Cup. I mean, they're up 3-1. And they're
Why are you don't...
Because they've never won it. It's a great sports story. Ovechkin has been in the league 13 years.
Well, shit, you must have loved it when the Cubs won the fucking World Series.
Yeah, I was into it. I was crying. I mean, I bullshit and say, oh, well, these asshole Cub fans who were, you know, emotional about it. But even I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, you know. That's pretty cool.
And the way they won it with the rain delay and the fucking, it was like a natural, like a movie.
You know what was amazing about the Cubs winning the World Series was that they beat another snake-bitten franchise, the Cleveland Indians, who haven't won it for so many years. Yeah. And then the Yankees knocked them out last year, which was beautiful. But, yeah. So what I think sports also is it's an avoidance. It's like, you know, fucking baseball games are 3 hours long. Like, I always think I should be, you know, writing. What I realize is that, here's what I think. If I would spend as much time on my career as I do watching my teams, I'd be way,
but who
way
the
ahead.
Fuck, who sits down and really pays attention for 3 hours to a baseball game? You do other shit. I don't sit and it's like elevator music. It's like, you know, you can do other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Except the playoffs. They're every
that's
pitch.
Different. That's totally different.
Yeah.
It's a long season, 160 games.
Yeah,
basketball.
Baseball is like baseball. That is the great thing about baseball is that you have it on in the background. It's like the background to your life. You know what I mean? And there's been great books about baseball. Baseball written, The Boys of Summer, by Roger Kahn, I think. And then movies. The Natural.
What's your favorite baseball movie?
I think it's The Natural.
Natural's so good.
And The Natural and Bull Durham is great too.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I would say The Natural, but I will just say this as a counter to your Natural is the Bad News Bears. The Bad News Bears
it's a good one.
Is one of the greatest.
I love Walter Matthau. I'm a big Walter Matthau fan.
So fucking good. You know what's great about that movie though is that it's really not about baseball. It's about the drunk fucking manager who's just trying to do his community service, right? Mm-hmm. And he takes these kids who suck, and he makes them winners. But what he has to do to make them win is cheat. He has to make them, and they're little kids. They're like 8 and 9 years old.
Did they cheat?
They cheat. Oh yeah, because he's a fucking ex-ball player. He knows what it takes to win. He takes the kid who's the big kid. He puts him on the team. He gets the girl who can pitch. He puts all these other players on the team who are good, and then those kids don't get to play. And then they win, but they're unhappy. And he tells them, didn't you want to win? Oh. Didn't you want to fucking win? And they all look at him. They're all these little kids. They're like, he just told them Santa Claus isn't real.
I love Walter Matthau, man. I love Walter. Are you a Walter Matthau fan?
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Matthau fan. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Yeah. What's your favorite Walter Matthau movie?
I think
Odd Couple?
No, Bad News Bears, I think.
Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
I love when he's interacting with Jack Lemmon in The Odd Couple. He was also in, was it The Apartment with Jack Lemmon?
No, he wasn't. Apartment was Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine.
Okay, so it was a movie where they were scamming a insurance company. I forget what the name of it was.
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3 was Walter Matthau, wasn't it?
Well, that's completely different. He was serious.
Yeah, but it's still great.
Yeah.
It's still great.
But
that's like a personality like that you don't see in movies anymore.
I always wanted to be Walter Matthau. Well, that was one of the guys. Jackie Gleason, I love Jackie Gleason, and I love Walter Matthau. I loved Jack Lemmon. And the reason I'm mentioning this, folks, and mentioning sports, is I'm trying to mention the things that give me joy, give me joy, and make me want to live. You ever have that feeling? And sports fans will relate to this, where like you just feel like shit, and then you remember the Yankees won or your team won, and you're going to read about it in the paper.
You're going to look at the stats too.
You're going to look at the box score. You're going to see the highlight. These days, see the highlights, and you're going to be like, okay, at least the Yankees won. Me and my friend Murph, we talk about this right now. He's going through such rough times. My friend Barry's going through such rough times, and I'm just like, hey, Murph, none of it matters. Judge just hit a 2-run shot. This thing went about 450 feet, man. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. It can make your whole day better. It's
Yeah.
a good distraction from life till you need a distraction from it.
But I just think that we need to be able to make our day better by breathing, by being in the moment, and not constantly, being distracted, with the latest, Here's the big thing I have against sports is that it's so corporate. It's so corporate. And all the shit I rail about, it kind of embodies now. I mean, this bullshit about the national anthem. We haven't talked about this bullshit. The Eagles, and good for them for not fucking going to the White House, to collect their fucking ring or whatever.
They keep making football more like a military industrial thing.
Well, it came out that the military, the Pentagon, was paying the NFL. A couple of million a year to do this big, flag promo of the military. Yes, they paid them to do that.
Wow.
And so they've turned sporting events into America. It used to be just a national anthem. Now it's, at Yankee Stadium in the seventh inning stretch, they bring out all this military stuff. And it's just to make the population fucking, this bullshit patriotism. Like here's the thing I have against it is let's celebrate the military. Meanwhile, fucking your infrastructure, your schools are going to shit. It's all bullshit. It's all, let's celebrate our lives. Let's celebrate our country in a real way. Let's celebrate it with education. Let's celebrate it with education. Let's sell it with community centers. Let's celebrate it with, jobs for everybody. Not, this big show of force and military planes and war around the world and death. It's either death or life.
The flyover, the military flyover at the game.
Yeah, I have a bit which is, ladies and gentlemen, flying overhead are B-52 bombers. Each B-52 bomber could be 50 libraries in your community, or bridges that aren't crumbling, an education system, public transportation, but instead all you have are these outward manifestations of imperialistic evil. Like, that's what the announcer should really sound like. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And everybody just doffs their cap, God. But it's just such bullshit. It's for a dumb population. Dumb population. And I think this is a good time to read our last ad.
You always find good times for the
I sure do.
The corporate plug.
Well, look, we got to survive. We got to survive. So this one is, this ad is another new sponsor, and it's from the Inner Truth Spa. It's a hard life, and you have earned a little me time. Do yourself a favor and take a trip to one of the 5 national locations of Inner Truth Spas. At Inner Truth Spa, they use essential volcanic oils to bring healing minerals from deep beneath the Earth's mantle to provide you with an unparalleled bathing experience while a child orchestra reads from President Trump's Twitter feed. Let me repeat that. While you're getting a healing mineral bath with essential volcanic oils, you are having a child orchestra reading from President Trump's Twitter feed. The unique combination of harnessing the healing powers of the Earth's core and the soothing sound of children reading words that are literally dismantling their future creates a mix of emotions that is as pure as it is timeless. Regardless how you voted, you will be untangling the knot of guilt you feel for years after visiting the Inner Truth Spa, constantly questioning if you could have done more to prevent the destruction of our government. And oh shit, were the primaries this week? But they aren't like a real election, right? Maybe I should switch to a mail-in ballot. I'm sure enough other Democrats voted to fix the problems in my state, and that spa water was probably just tap water with a little eucalyptus. I'm sure enough other Democrats voted to fix the problems in my state, and that spa water was probably just tap water with a little eucalyptus mixed in, right? Inner Truth Spas, come for the water, leave for the conflict. That's great. That, Inner Truth Spas, I mean, and again, our commercial is written by Matt Rasamoto, vacationing in Maryland this week, which seems to be, I don't know if that's an oxymoron or is that the word?
When you say
vacationing in Maryland,
and
like, can you vacation in Maryland? I guess you can on the coast.
When you say vacationing and then you say in Maryland, it does create a conflict in the imagination. The fuck?
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
But I'm glad he got to go somewhere, and get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of Dodge, as they say. But Inner Truth Spas, and what an image of a child orchestra reading President Trump's tweets, and I see just like some music playing in the background and kids actually reading the tweets that are dismantling their future while you bathe in essential volcanic oils.
I think we have that's a great bit that we should do on the podcast, is have a group of children sing President Trump's tweets, or just read them even.
That is good.
That is a good idea. Good job, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Well, but I don't like working with children.
Well, you might have to suck this one up for the sake of comedy.
No, because you have to deal with their parents, and I'm going to have to be vetted. You know what I mean? Because we want young kids, right, to read this. It'll sound good if it's like, whatever Trump. I haven't read any of Trump's tweets, nor do I care to, but I hear them on the news, I guess, occasionally.
Well, they don't have to be very literate kids. They don't have to be too old, because the tweets aren't really that sophisticated.
Yeah. I think of a kid now as 35. You know what I mean?
You're getting up there. You're getting up there, buddy. So I'm a kid, is what you're saying.
How old are you?
40.
Oh, yeah, you're a kid. You're a kid. That's why I have you around, kid. Hey, kid. So, all right, well, we're going to wrap up. Do you want
Did you see anything funny on the street?
Oh, yeah, we have a segment. Aaron, do you have the theme music? No? Okay, well, we have a segment. Did you see anything funny on the street? So I'm going to just do a little of that theme music now, and then me and Steve are going to relate what we saw. Ready? Here it goes. Did you see anything funny on the street? Da, 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 bah. Steve, did you see, and try to think, you try to think, did you see anything funny on the street this week?
As a matter of fact, I did not.
You didn't. Now that's wild.
Why does it have to be on the street, by the way?
That's the name of the segment.
But it could be off the street.
And the street is full of stuff. And it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that you didn't see anything funny on the streets of Los Angeles, like a major, major fucking city.
I did, but I can't remember any of the funny shit I saw. Did you see anything funny on the street?
I'm glad you asked. Let's see. Did I see anything funny on the street? Well, what I always think is funny is just doggies. Like just different. Oh, but that's in the park.
Yeah, it's not on the street. That's
in the park, so that does not count on the street. No.
I saw something funny on the train.
I didn't see anything.
We could do that.
Yeah, no, that's on train. All right, nope, we didn't see anything funny on the street again. All right, well, I'm going to be at the Altercation Comedy Festival in Austin, September 27th. I know that's a little far in advance, but I'll be in Austin September 27th. Next week, I don't think there's going to be a Pep Talks unless I do one from the road, because I'm going to be filming Dana Gould's show Stand Against Evil out there in Atlanta. So we're going to not be here next Wednesday. I'll be on the road. But I may just do a solo one from the phone. See how I feel. See how the Zoloft is working. How about, let's see if I have any. And I'm at the Comedy Store regularly here in town, folks. What about you, Stevie? What do you got?
I'm going to be at the Ice House in Pasadena on the 29th of June, 10 p.m. Come check it out.
Come check out Steve. I'm also on the 29th of June. I'm getting a colonoscopy. That is not open to the public. It is my second colonoscopy within 3. He wants it every 3 years now for some reason.
Oh.
But anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. I have a prep day on the 28th where everything gets cleared out. And then I go in clean as a whistle for my colonoscopy on the 29th. And by the way, they do film your colonoscopy, so I will be showing clips.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can bet we'll be covering that colonoscopy on the next Pep Talks. So definitely tune in for that and tell your friends. They're going to want to hear, see, and feel that experience.
And follow you on Twitter where?
Lolly Comedy.
Lolly Comedy. I'm at Eddie Pepitone. And please like my Facebook fan page. Go to my website and buy some merchandise, eddiepepitone.com. Shop Eddie Pepitone. I got vinyl albums I have vinyl albums. I have CDs. So check it out. And thank you, All Things Comedy Network. Thank you, Aaron, our producer, engineer, and Matt, our producer, Matt Rasamoto, who writes our commercials. And see you, everybody.